Yes, we're going
Okay.
now.
Pull Madeline. So basically we've decided that Bianca is going to die from cyanide poisoning laced in their coffee mugs.
Bianca.
Yes. So we have Bianca, Keith, Isaac, and Charlotte all around the table. Let's see the scenes. We have decided that it's going to be in a military base underground, where because we have a contagious vial of, we have an idea, but we don't know the name of what we're going to call it. Ooh, we need to think of a name.
Yeah, we do need
Okay.
to think of it. We just call it disease.
Yeah, it's all underground, so there is a way to escape. There's a way to get out, which is Isaac's goal, because his motive is to sell the vial for money. We have decided that Isaac's around 28 years old. He's the youngest. Charlotte's 29-ish. Bianca's 33, and Keith's 42. This is Rick. He's in the room with us. He's not in the system. He's a little robot like Wally.
That's his.
And he's
charging-
charging
Yes.
on his Rumba
Yeah,
station.
It's just a little charging station. We've decided that we're gonna keep everything in the lab, but this is not useful. The bathroom's not useful. Mainly the action is this area. To start off, Bianca dies first. So basically, we've decided that every morning they ask Keith, or Keith asks Rick, who was the killer, or no, not the killer. Sorry.
What's the
What's the
update on
update? What's the
how
update?
many bacterial
Yes.
things are in the...
Yes.
Yeah.
So Keith forgets to ask this morning. Our goal is to make Keith look very suspicious. We want everybody to believe that Keith is the killer. He's the bad guy, when in reality it is Isaac. So we've decided that Bianca is hey Keith, why haven't you asked for the update from Rick? To kind of be okay, that's a little suspicious. And then right after that, Bianca basically dies. Because,
Cyanide in the cups.
yes. So Isaac put cyanide in Keith and Bianca. Charlotte doesn't drink coffee, so that's why she is completely safe and out of the question. So Bianca chugs her coffee. Keith sips it. So he is poisoned, but it's not as bad as Bianca. So we don't know exactly, but I think he probably has about an hour to live before he is, you said comatose?
So yeah, what I found was that it takes about half an hour till medical intervention isn't
Yeah.
useful
Mhm.
with cyanide poisoning like that. So I was like, all right, so we have a half an hour. Once he knows he's passed the boundary, there's no
So
point.
it's half an hour, basically, until that would make sense, because when he goes over there, it's been about 30 minutes lapsed.
Sure.
And then that takes place well within 15 minutes, so about 45 minutes. I think that's a good timeline between
Yeah.
that conversation that they need to have. Okay. Anyway, so Keith, once Bianca dies, Charlotte accuses Keith, making him more suspicious and more just being it's Keith, it's Keith, it's Keith. And then they have a conversation, and Keith's he makes up an excuse because he knows he's poisoned. The readers do not know Keith is poisoned yet. We do not know, right?
We
Or,
look,
they do not. He doesn't express that he's poisoned yet. We just, as the authors, know.
yeah.
So basically, Keith, we don't know the excuse yet, but he's gonna go over and talk to Rick. That leaves Charlotte and Isaac. Isaac is using Charlotte as a pawn because he needs to kill everybody. He wants the vial, and he wants nobody to know how to make the antidote. He wants his brain to be the only one to know anything about this drug, this weapon, for whoever he's selling it to. Maybe the Russians. So they're having a side conversation. Charlotte's in love with Isaac, so she's like, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely, whatever you want. So Keith goes to Rick. Basically, we're gonna incorporate that hey, code purple, code blue, where basically it's everything's gone to shit.
Lock it down.
Yeah, lock it down. Tell the people tell the main military base, because this is underground about 10 miles off, which gets rid of the thing of Isaac being seen when he's escaping. And what else did we say? There was one other question. Oh,
I don't remember.
okay. Well, basically, if he leaves, nobody will be like, hey, what are you doing? You're supposed to be underground. It
Right.
gives him an away
Yeah.
thing.
gives
Yeah.
him motivation to leave.
Yes, exactly, because he won't get caught or yeah. So basically, Rick's gonna send out a code, which gives them 24 hours to respond. Within that 24 hours, everybody will be dead. The vial will be destroyed by Rick in the incinerator, which we have decided which will be somewhere in the lab. But I think one thing that we want Keith to tell Rick is that, hey, I need you to finish the job for me. I've been poisoned. Like, that's when we know that he's been poisoned. Everything is like, it's Isaac, like, something like that. But we're not going to say it's Isaac. So basically, Rick always has a switchblade. We will incorporate this somehow, but we need to know it's an important part.
Keith always has a
Keith
switchblade.
has a
Who did I say?
Rick.
Keith has
You're doing great, Lily.
Thank you. Keith has a switchblade. So basically, when they're coming back, this is the scene that we do not get from Charlotte and Isaac. They have their own conversation in the background. And the only reason why, so Rick is hearing the conversation before. That's how we got it. But when Keith starts talking to Rick, his focus becomes on Keith, and this is background noise, basically. So basically, Isaac will go grab a knife, a big, sharp, like, chop and carrot knife. And Charlotte goes with him, and I think they've planned to, like, be like, okay, well, I'm gonna, like, threaten you so I can get out of here and we can run away together. Because he's like, Keith would not let you die. Like, he cares too much about you. Keith doesn't go. He's like, this is not leaving my facility. So basically, Isaac has the big knife. Charlotte's, like, there with him. Keith's walking back when all of a sudden, and Isaac grabs Charlotte, puts the knife to her throat, and is like, let me out, Keith, let me out, Keith. Basically, long story short, Isaac slits her neck. Charlotte dies. Keith runs up, tries to stab him. The cyanide poisoning is really affecting him then, because he goes for the heart, he misses. So
He ends up hitting like the brachial artery in the lower right shoulder.
So he stabs and drags down a little bit. It's a little weak, so the gap is I'm thinking like maybe this big, like not super big. And then Rick is like, okay, well, Keith's down. Like, Isaac will be in pain. He won't be disposed of because he'll be bleeding, but he won't be dead. So that's when we were like, okay, Rick has to come in and step. So this little cute robot is gonna come to like Isaac when he's like on the ground, like, oh my god, this hurts, and he's gonna like open the wound. A little brutal, but
With his little
hands,
little
like,
hands.
he's just gonna like open it.
And, like,
we're thinking because it's metal, it'll like kind of rip open that bigger artery, which will cause death. And within 24 hours of like, because this will all happen within 24 hours, Keith, or not Rick, no, not Keith, Rick. Rick will grab the vial, go to the lab, destroy it. He has 24 hours from the thing before the people in the hazmat suits come in to interrogate him. And so all the bodies will still be fresh, the blood will still be there. I think it'll be very visible that this happened. It may be a little bit dry, but within 24 hours,
Yeah,
I
it'll
think
still be
I think it will still be pretty gruesome. Or maybe it's like not 24 hours, maybe it's like as soon as possible, get down here. But they still have to figure out, they have to get the warning, they have to choose the people. Like, I think that is going to take a couple hours.
It's like how SWAT teams
Yeah.
take time. And this is like a hazmat SWAT team.
Yes, exactly. And they're not going to send a big team. I think it's 2 people that we've discussed.
Oh, I
Like,
was
2
imagining
hazmat people.
Sorry,
That's-
Madeline. I was imagining the hazmat team comes in like CSI, and then the detectives ask Rick. And the
Okay, so
detectives
there's-
are like, that's their job.
Could they take Rick away from that area?
That's what I was imagining.
Okay. And then we're planning that Rick is gonna like shut down after because like he loves Keith, even though he's a robot, but he loves Keith, so. But yeah, I think that's kind of the main gist of the story.
And it's all third person.
Yes.
And the end is the part where we give away the whole, like,
Yeah.
like we give away that there is no more of this disease and stuff. But like the reader doesn't know that most of the story.
Yes. And we want Keith to be like the main suspect the entire time. We want him to think until that one thing with Isaac's like, I need to leave with this vial. I'm gonna kill her. I think that's the twist that we really want. We want Keith to be like with the switchblade going towards Isaac, you know, like we want that to build up suspense, but in reality it's Isaac.
And then when Isaac just slits the throat of someone who seems innocent, that's when we're like, oh wait,
Then we're
shit.
like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think our goal is to work on this together because I think this is going to be the hardest bit. I think this is something we want to write together. And then maybe we do like the introduction, not the I'll have to get you that. Basically,
But like the first, like when you look at the document,
Yeah.
Madeline, it's gonna be like that first scene, and then like character descriptions and setting descriptions and all that stuff. We want to work on over break and maybe some rough outlines, but we really need to write the whole, especially that center section, together.
I think so too. I think we have enough time now that we're gonna stop reading as much and we're gonna start. I think we're gonna have more group work towards the end too of the semester. So like, I think we need to like. I don't necessarily think we need to write as much over spring break. It'd be great to get a couple chapters now, but I think we need to know our characters. I think we need to really understand the plot and make sure there's no questions that we do not know how to answer. So like if somebody asks us, we can be like, no, we explained it here.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of what we need to focus on now. Maybe get the first bit done, but I think mainly we need to like focus on who Bianca is. Why do we hate Bianca? Or like, you know, like what do we like about Bianca? What do we not like about Bianca? Like, maybe not Bianca, she dies early. Those three characters.
Yes.
And Rick. Like, I think we really need to understand them because that's how you make a great story. So, anyways, I don't really know. Well, we're assigning roles in like an assignment thing. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
Yeah,
on
we
Sherlock
thought the
Holmes.
video would be easy for you to understand Madeline. So
Thank you, Madeline.
yeah.